Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Armada Village Council. Please rise to a pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Michelle, you want to take the attendance?
Clark?
Here.
Conan?
Here.
Adair?
Here.
Belkey?
Here.
Garzik? Here. Sturritt?
Here.
Schulze is here.
Council, you have the agenda in front of you. I need a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented.
Clark and Belkey. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion is approved. Are there any citizen comments?
Yes.
Ah,
My name is Courtney Ward,
And you want to give it your address, Courtney?
74610 Burke Street, Armada. And I would like to just suggest that we put in a sidewalk in front of the fire station on the south side of the road. There's lots of students and people that use that already. As you'll notice, there's like a worn-in area of the grass, and I just feel like it's unsafe. It makes me feel unsettled when I see the tracks of kids even, you know, because they run and practice for their sports even using that trail. So I think it's important that, you know, we take care of that, even if we have to collaborate with the township, because I know they're right across the street there, and I just think that it needs to be a priority.
Where do you want this?
Between Burke Street, and it would go to where the sidewalk ends now, which is just on the other side of the bridge, which would be.
Kind of across the Holock property there.
Spencer.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you're right.
And honestly, the bridge portion is already there. And I believe that's where most of the structure cost would be. So I believe that, you know, it's already a somewhat smaller project that maybe we could handle, you know, in a reasonable amount of time. So that's all.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Are there any other citizen comments?
Did you sent them you guys got the email?
No, only one.
Who got it? Dave?
Amy.
Amy? Okay. So.
You want to rise?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Hi.
Just identify yourself, give me your address, please.
I'm Annie, current president of the chamber here. And so I was thinking, since I've heard a lot of people talk about how the word municipal is confusing to a lot of people on the parking signs, new parking signs. I talked to Justin at Armada. He said that he can do like $10 a sign to make like a matching decal to put like the word public over the word municipal, so that way it reads less confusing and people know that they can park there.
Thank you. Are there any other comments?
Marcia Hollins, 20120 Armada Ridge Road. I just wanted to find what municipal means, and if you see the municipal sign, it's a little bit confusing. You know, to me it's like there's a court around here somewhere. But municipal, the definition is relating to a city or town or its governing body, municipal offices. So just to support what Ms. Ann is saying, it is confusing, it doesn't cost much, and even if you ask our wonderful township office to help with this, maybe we could do a small project like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Rose? Kevin?
I'm Roseanne Beetham-Zeppelin, 74965 Holden Street. I'm just here to hear why I think I'm at the right meeting, talking about adding money for the police department. Is that correct?
Well, no, it really isn't.
Okay.
We'll explain it in the meeting.
We'll be going
Okay.
over that in the meeting, and you'll see.
I got my paper, I wrote it down in the book, and I'm here, so.
Yeah. Good. Okay, are there any other citizen comments? Okay, being none, we'll move on. We have no presentations tonight. Go to administration reports.
Excuse me, can we get some more copies of the agenda? They're all gone. Is anybody gonna make a copy? Thank you, I'm sorry, thank you.
Okay,
I got a clean copy of your number.
so she'll make note, she'll get that, and we'll get in the commissioner reports. Ross, you wanna start us off?
Yes, in your consent agenda packet, you should have a letter from Chris Crotchy, Township Supervisor. Essentially, it's a letter from the township declining the opportunity to connect to the village water system from the fire department. You might recall that Supervisor Paderek had requested that about 1.5 years ago. They're just gonna improve their well. I did file the 2024 cross-connection report with Eagle, so that's been submitted. We've approved a permit for interior water tower painting, which should happen in the April-May timeframe. We still don't have a firm date, but we've approved that, so that should be moving forward.
You said April, May?
April-May timeframe. We don't have a specific date right now. We want to do it before summer. We've got a pumpage report that's coming up. Particularly interested in that because the water reliability study that we just submitted indicated that we have 17% unbilled water. Average for small municipalities about 15%. I think it's likely that we're not accounting for all the water we use in hydrant flushing. The fire department does fill out of the tower on an emergency basis. We back flush at the water treatment plant. I believe that's where we're not fully accounting for the water that we use. So I'm going to be paying some particular attention to that. We have the water consumer confidence report pending in the April timeframe. Becky likes to send that out in the water sewer bill that goes out in late April. Encourage everybody to read that. That objectively tells you the quality of our water. I've said it a number of times. We have very good water. People may not like the taste. That's subjective. Objectively, we test the water all the time, and the water is very low in terms of contaminants. Very good water. With respect to that, we did just get our Eagle 2025 sampling schedule. I'm not going to go through everything there, but a key point is one of the things we're not testing for the next 2 years is lead in our water. The last several sets of tests that we've done to the Eagle schedule for lead in our water has always showed negligible lead. So even though we probably have a lead connection or two in the village, again, you've heard me talk about that ad nauseum, we're not experiencing any in our sample, and we do pretty thorough sampling of the village, and so that's good news. There's a number of other things that they require us to sample. One is PFAS. PFAS also shows over the last 5 or 6 years that we've tested for PFAS, we have no PFAS in our water. So we have great water. I'm just telling you, you pay for it, but we have great water.
Yes, you do, thank you.
We've talked about the generator servicing wells 6 and 7, having an operational problem that's been repaired, and so the generator is back up. And I am working with Rowe. This is something that SEMCOG has helped us with. SEMCOG has very good detailed maps of the area. That's a very old map that's been up there on that wall. I've been looking at it for years. Working with Rowe to try to get a updated 2024, 2025 large-scale map of the village with village boundaries and so on. So, and I don't think it costs us anything, so that's even better. At least it didn't cost us from SEMCOG. So, more to follow on the maps, but that needs to be replaced. It's just way out of whack.
That was really nice.
Okay, that's all I got.
Okay, thank you, Ross. Amy?
Pretty much, Kevin had sent me the information about the public parking signs that they would like to possibly switch it to. I don't know how to proceed, like, how do we have a discussion about that to see what council?
Next agenda.
Next agenda, so put it on the agenda, okay. So that's what I will do. Is there any way that you could possibly get a picture of what it's a decal, not a metal?
Yeah, no, it's just a vinyl decal that matches the same font and color that's already on there, so it won't look anything different, it's just have the word public instead of municipal.
Okay.
Isn't that right?
Anything else, Amy?
Nope, that's it, thank you.
Mike?
I feel like Ross, I wrote everything down.
Why don't you write it in a report form and then you turn it in?
Kat was on vacation, so you guys did not get her monthly report.
I gotta
She
get
was on
back.
vacation, she'll get it to us by the end of the week. F&V submitted a biosolids corrective action plan from September 28th, 2023. So it's a little bit old, but we have, I think, 2 years or something to turn it in. I don't know, I just got it today. But they submitted it, F&V, so we don't have to do anything. Biotech sampled the sludge tank. Watson and Swift returned to update their quote for Ross's little project because of, I think they were both gonna quote boring versus, or digging up instead of boring. Not a big deal. They're getting the phantom alarms, but they're looking into it. They're not getting a call out for some phantom alarms. The SBR was washed down, the big tanks, when one of them was emptied. What else we got here? The heat in the grit room tripped a relay, so they had to get a company out to check that out. And then Best Electric is replacing the cards in the Mixer 6 and the SBR 3. Not a big deal, but everything else is going fine down there.
Mike, if I can ask, so they're not getting alerted off the SCADA system? That's a call-out issue?
Yeah,
See, I've had an issue too, so, okay, I'm gonna talk to,
I wonder if Mike's talked to Dan about it and see if,
I'll dig into it. It's UIS, SCADA
yeah. you
manages the various operational information relay in the wastewater treatment plant, the water treatment plant, and I had a temperature, I had a heater that went down, and it didn't alert me. So there's something else going on. If you're experiencing the same thing, so okay, that's good. I wanna take that information now and call Ken back up and say what the heck's going on here. So okay, that's good.
Good, Mike?
Thank you.
Joe?
I don't have anything for police, but I do have something that I just happened to notice on here. Where Tom Urban had reported that he sent out letters regarding the snow on the sidewalks. And also he would like to see some posting requirements for the addresses. Christie and the Planning Commission is doing up a notice or a requirement letter asking that everybody follow the health and safety regulations from the fire department, the police departments, municipal offices, ambulances, hospitals, that kind of thing. Because it's such a safety hazard.
Right.
You know, if you've got somebody having a heart attack in your house and you call 911, you know what your address is, you tell them, but they don't know who you are. So when they're out there and they're looking up and down streets for your address, those few seconds could cost somebody their life. So she is working on that. So.
Fire department used to advertise little green signs that they would sell you.
They do have.
They still do
letters.
that.
Yeah.
That may be the way to go. It's, I've got one on my mailbox, and hopefully I don't have a heart attack, but that may be a suggestion for them is.
And something else that people don't know is, like my house, my front door faces my porch. It doesn't face the street. Those addresses need to face the street.
Oh,
The
yeah.
ambulance is coming from that direction, then I can see that address beside your door. Needs to face the street.
That's a good.
Okay.
I've got
Yeah,
something.
go ahead, Steve.
Kevin had asked the question some time ago about how many tickets were written for snow not being taken care of.
Yes, sir.
There were no tickets written, there were 8 letters written. What we have in the ordinance is you have 24 hours after a snowfall to take care of the snow. And then you get a letter, and then you have 10 days after that. I'm not real thrilled how we do that, because 2 weeks goes by and nothing's done. And then you have snow like we recently had. It snows, and then no snow, then it snows again, and it just prolongs the situation, so.
Change
It's
it.
something we're gonna look more into, because people still walk in winter, and some of these houses you walk by, you gotta walk in the snow so you don't slip and fall on their sidewalk. But we are looking into it, but no tickets were written. We're not in the business of trying to write tickets. We want people to take care of their situation, but. So, just to let you know what we did. There were 8 letters that did go out, but,
And if we can find a product that we can tell people to use instead of salt, because salty sidewalks so bad.
well, calcium chloride works very good. I use it down in the apartments.
Yeah.
But it's very expensive, and you don't want to put that on your bare hands. It can burn you. So,
Well, maybe at the beginning of the snow season next year, letters should
Well,
go out to everybody
I'm hoping like
to remind them,
how
people maybe
we
don't
time the
know.
water bills, put something in the water
Yeah.
bill just as winter's coming on to
Yep.
remind people.
Yeah.
Right.
And if anybody out there can help their neighbor that you know can't do it, that is appreciated, so.
Okay,
Okay,
moving.
I don't have an
Oh.
administrative report, but the fairgrounds is hosting the Blue Water Conservation District, their 2025 annual tree sale. We have order stuff here at the office if you want to come in and pick it up. The orders are due by April 4th, and they have a website, which is www.bluewatercd.org. So you can, or you can go up to the, I know, I'm just getting it out of the way.
Blue water,
Bluewatercd.org.
CD is in dog.
Yep.
Can you go over to the Grange Hall now, which is where the office is, and pick up a,
Yes, I'm sure you can. Yes, yeah, you can visit the fair office, like Ross said, it's at the Grange Hall temporarily, right?
off of Main Street,
Yeah.
not Fair Street?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the, I need approval for the consent agenda.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support?
Clark and Belkey, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion's approved. There's no old business, and now, I need a motion to go into the public hearing for the,
PA 33.
yeah, the PA 33, please.
Make a motion to, I'm sorry, were you done?
Yep, go ahead.
Motion to enter into the public hearing, consider adoption of a resolution confirming annual special assessment role for the village, for the Armada Village Police Special Assessment District at 718. Just change them.
Second.
Okay. You wanna call roll, right?
Yep, Belkey,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Barzik,
Yes.
Stirrup.
Yes.
You can have Roseanne ask her questions now.
Okay, well, this is, you know, for information, the PA 33 is assessment for police. Last year, we did what, 1.75 mils?
Right.
And that's also what we're doing this year. So we're not increasing it, we're not lowering it, it's staying the same at 1.75 mils.
We've had it since 2017, 2018 budget,
Yeah, we've had it since when?
2018.
Yeah, since 2018.
Okay.
So- Now, do you have a question on this?
Just
Roseanne?
wondered why that came up, and it sounded like we were gonna increase some more, and I was gonna
No,
say, do
we
you guys
have
have a
to-
second job for me now that I've
No.
retired?
We have to have
We
a,
do, come on up.
we have to have a public hearing on it every year.
Okay,
And it could go up, or it could go down, or it could stay where
Right.
it's at. And it's staying at the 1.75 this year is what our
Every year
proposal.
since 2017, you guys have lowered it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
If I can jump in real quick.
yeah, go
I
ahead.
think you're kind of asking how did this all kind of happen, and so just real quick. So, you know, the Great Recession, we all know what happened, how that affected municipal finances. So back in 2008 through 2013, property values in some cases were cut in half. We derive our revenues based on assessments of properties, and when those go down, we have less revenue. So basically, for that 5-year period from 2000 to 2008, our revenues just plummeted. And so we have to try to, this community has always had a great support for having its own police department. So the council at that time felt that that was important to continue, but how do we finance it in light of the fact that we literally have lost, a tremendous amount of revenue? And the decision was made to look at Public Act 33, which is a special assessment that allows you to defray the costs of operating a police department. So that was the, I guess, substitute funding source, for lack of a better term. You probably didn't see it, but our auditors come in every year and do a presentation. And I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, this was the first year that our assessed value for properties is back where it was in 2008.
Yeah.
So it's taken from 2008 to 2025 to get back to the revenue level we had. So that's a really long time. So it sounds like, well, we're back to normal, but what a lot of people forget is for that significant period of time, we'll never get that revenue. You know what I'm saying? That revenue
Right.
was lost.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's no fun. I compliment the council for cutting it back from where it was in 2018. But that's really the story that came about, is really trying to keep the police department operational
Full-time.
without the revenues we had. So I know it's frustrating. Nobody likes paying taxes. Candidly, the municipal finance system in Michigan is broke. I've said that before at meetings, and it still is broke. It's not a great way of financing municipal operations, but it's what we have right now. And I hope that kind of explains why we get
Broke
it.
as in not working, not broke as in no money.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
broke
Funds
because,
are low,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Just,
yeah.
just
it
so
can't be
you,
used for anything else.
Right.
Definitely.
and just so you know, the PA 33 doesn't finance our whole police department.
No.
Our police department is financed its general fund through PA 33 and through our salvage title.
Okay.
Okay, are there any other questions on the PA 33 monies?
Just to add to, there are, I've run spreadsheets. If anybody wants to see me after the meeting, I can tell you what your estimated PA 33 will be.
Okay, so are there any questions about the, well, then I can use a motion.
Make a motion to exit the public hearing at 7:22.
We don't need that.
Not rolling on this one, but we need a second.
Do we have a second?
Support.
Yep. Okay,
All in favor?
all in favor of the motion? Aye. Motion's approved. Okay, now, police website agreement.
No, you gotta move to adopt the resolution.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So, I need a motion to adopt the resolution.
I can do it. Resolved to adopt the resolution confirming the special assessment role for the purpose of defraying police protection costs in Armada Village Police Special Assessment District and directing further proceedings for the collection and distribution of the special assessment levy on the taxable value and all lands and premises in the district.
Support.
Barsak and Belkey. And we'll have a roll call on this.
Barzik,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Stirrup,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes?
Adair.
Yes.
Okay, motion's approved. Now we can move on.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on to the police website agreement extension. Is that you, Joe?
No, it's me.
That's you?
Yeah. So Revise handles the village's website and it also handles the police. They are two separate. We had a $425 increase, but just like the village website, we haven't had an increase since we started it. So, the website's it's very simple for the police.
but it does have information on there that's helpful to the public, so I recommend that we extend it.
Because I was a little confused, is this a village, not the village website?
No, it's
This is
the police, but
police.
it's us, but yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha, gotcha.
And then I'm gonna find the motion.
You wanna,
I'll move to approve the agreement extension from Revise in the amount of $1,200 and to allow the clerk to sign on the village behalf.
support that.
That village part.
Okay, Clark and Belkey.
Yep. Ready?
Okay, and roll call.
Clark,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Garza,
Yes.
Stirrit.
Yes.
Okay. Now, upcoming agenda items.
Our next meeting is our budget public hearing.
Review water and sewer rates.
The water resolution, water and
Yeah.
sewer resolutions, yes.
Any other,
Parking signs.
Huh?
Investment
Yeah, parking
policy.
signs.
Yeah.
you wanna put the parking signs on the agenda, Amy?
Sure, yes,
Okay.
thank you, thank you.
And what about the street?
Yeah, what about the
Our
sidewalk? Can we put the
sidewalk.
sidewalk on, right, at least get the ball rolling on that?
I don't,
I'm just not sure because we'd have to figure out.
you know, this has come up before.
Yeah.
I know, and that's
And,
why I
uh,
suggested working with the
so-
township, you know, to try to get it figured out, you
The
know?
way our
Well-
ordinance reads, if it's on somebody's property, they have to pay half.
And whose property is that parcel?
That would
I would
be,
imagine.
that'd be
it's-
Mary Wallach, I
imagine
believe.
it's Mary's, yeah.
And so what, you guys would have to purchase that part to make the adjustment on the
No,
sidewalk?
no, the way it's set up is that the resident pays
I
half.
think what she's asking, Michelle, is do we have enough right of way on Burke? Or do we have to acquire additional right of way for the sidewalk? And I think that's.
I think we
Yes.
have to additionally, you
Oh, okay.
have to
I
remember the
misunderstood. I'm
residents'
sorry.
property.
Okay,
So
so
it's not just.
I don't know what the width of Burke is,
It's
but,
right from the bridge to the corner.
yeah.
Yeah.
The church doesn't have sidewalks back there.
Dave Wagner may be able to tell us.
This has come up a couple times
Yeah.
before,
Mhm.
but,
But how come it was never resolved?
Mm-hmm.
well, at that time it was resolved not to do anything, you know, but it's a fair question.
It's for the safety of
There
the
was a lot of
kids.
promises made that the township and the village were gonna come together to make things happen for Armada. This would be a perfect project that could show the community that you guys are capable of doing something and working together. And we need that. We're about to go through some
Well, first
pretty
of all,
tough times in Armada,
you
and we
know-
need to go through it together.
In all fairness of the township, and it's certainly, you know, I feel like the township has failed this village, because we all pay township taxes in this village. They do nothing for us, except do our assessments. But that property is completely in the village, it is not on township. You know,
But it's a vested interest in the township to have that part complete
Yeah.
for all
Hey,
of the money
hey.
they spent across the street, including the sidewalk behind the
You
fire
preach to the choir.
department. To the village, so
If
that.
you can get them to pay for it, that.
Well, I'm gonna go to the township meeting as
Yeah.
well.
But-
I pay taxes for both, so
As do we all.
and also like as far as like the village, my son's required to walk to school. So is everybody on that side of town. We don't get a bus stop. We don't have an option. That's part of the reason why the drive for pickup and drop off at the elementary school is so crowded. And, you know, without resources for even our children to be able to do the things that they need to do, let alone the
That'd
running.
be a good spot for, I'm not against it.
But it is
But wait,
a
I guess we do
process.
need to.
Who's, so can I just be clear on whose approval is it that I would seek next? What would be the first step?
Well, I think your first step was coming to us.
Okay, I thought so,
No,
that's why
I
I'm
mean, you can
here.
ask the township, but
Or the
then,
school.
no. School's not gonna put a
School
sidewalk
property.
in.
No.
They could
They
request
should.
it, though.
Okay, no, I go to the board meeting and I ask them to request
Yeah,
it.
I
I go
don't
to the
think that would
township
hurt.
meeting and I squeak my wheel there too,
Yeah.
you know? And then from there, what do we have to do in order to
It's
get
just gotta
the,
be decided here.
so it's gotta be placed on an agenda.
It is a process, and you have to get quotes, you have to get bids
Yes.
on
We
it.
can
And
do
then
that.
once
Yeah,
that's
do that.
decided, because
you.
our budget has been decided on for next year,
Mhm.
so that's what we're gonna be approving at the next meeting. So then that process would require the council to approve it and then do a budget amendment
Yeah.
to
Set
get
it
that
Pay for
included.
it.
Well, and that would just be within the next year. That budget goes for how long?
A year.
A year.
1 year. So with everybody's agenda being, looking forward to next year, it's not unattainable to reach out and get some quotes this year so that when it comes upon next year's budget, which with the price of our houses all going up so much, we're gonna look finally for a surplus since what, 2008? Maybe we could use some of that knowing that our children need their sidewalk to get to school.
Safety reasons.
It's absolutely safety reasons.
Right.
There's literally nowhere for them to walk but through the snow, and they do. And it's dark in the mornings. These are middle schoolers, with high schoolers driving by with brand new permits and licenses.
From my
And
corner.
then
I understand.
experience, not experience.
Yes. And I think that if we talk to the Wolats, that they would be very reasonable with their piece of property and making sure that our students are safe.
Well,
Can be on the agenda, that's.
Can it be on the agenda for the next meeting
Just
to
to
get the
discuss it.
the ball
Not the next
rolling?
meeting, but maybe the one after, you're not here at the next
Yeah.
meeting.
probably not the next meeting, but I'm sure you'll keep on us to keep it there.
Why
I
can't-
I can't believe you're not on the council.
Listen, I've been very busy, but my children will be walking themselves to school here in the future, so I gotta start from the bottom up.
Yeah, I give you credit.
And I just need this to happen for them. Not just for them, but for all the other little kids that are going to school with wet feet all day.
Let me ask a question too. So you would want the sidewalk to be extended on Burke, and then what about Armada Center?
So Armada Center, if we were to put a crosswalk that would reach to the township park where all of the baseball fields are, then that would be accessible from the entire village, and the safest spot to cross Armada Center would be right there. And that would guarantee more
And
access
there's
for
a
all.
sidewalk on the other side.
There is currently a sidewalk on Burke that extends all the way to Armada
I
Center.
don't go down.
Yes,
Well,
but
yeah.
there's a bike park that is right there as well. So Burke Street is used all the time by
Actually, if
walkers.
you put that sidewalk in on Center Road, you
Mhm.
still haven't got a sidewalk all the way to the middle school, all the way to the high school, and all the way to the elementary
You have
school.
access though, if you walk to the middle school parking lot, because you wouldn't cross through, well, I don't know what the way that the barriers are now since the tornado, but you would be able to access
Yeah,
the
I'm
middle
just
school
saying,
walkway
You don't
to
have
the
a
high school.
There
continuous
should be one all the way down Center Road.
without going on to,
But
there should be.
it is-
The school could
you're
come
talking
in,
about
could
on the north side.
account for that
Oh,
sidewalk
that's
though.
township. That would need to
That's
be
not-
That's not even.
You're not talking about you're talking about the south side of the street, right?
Correct,
Yeah.
I'm
correct.
talking about from like back by the pond to the bridge.
No, it would just
Across
connect,
from the
it would be the easiest, shortest route to connect the
At
current
least-
sidewalk
At
system.
least from Burke to the bridge.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be that much. And I think that if you had local contractors do it, they'd do it immediately. You wouldn't be sitting on a wait list till the end of next year, or the year after. But,
I can't speak for anybody.
no, I understand, I
who
just,
doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, are there any other citizen comments? Go ahead, Rose.
Roseanne Beetham Zeppelin, 74965 Fulton
I
Street.
have.
You didn't
Roseanne.
move?
Yeah, that Lou guy.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a couple things that, this has been going on in the planning committee with us having the car wash right behind my property on Village. They are the township, and we're having issues. And there's a ditch that's come between me and him. It's been there since I had the property. And it always just flowed back, and it kind of dissipated. And there's a little 1-foot culvert that goes off to the right that never worked. Everything always just flew back that way.
Doesn't go into the creek back there.
Not really.
No.
It just kind of does its own thing and worms its way back. Now, I don't know. I need someone to tell me on his
has Joe Ramondo's place, that's how I have to remember it. Was that always in the township and
Yes.
not in the village?
Yep.
You mean, I went ice skating on there at LeBay's and I could.
Yeah, that was Van Dale's, by the way.
Well,
that-
and it's LeBay's.
When we were
and-
ice skating,
Yeah.
and that's always been in the township.
Well, see, I didn't know
The
that.
only thing that's in the town, in the village is the driveway where it comes out.
I know where it comes out, so I always assumed,
Yeah,
again,
so
what
I just-
assume means.
I think they're way back.
So, all right, so that water has now been from the Ambets all the way to Center Road down to the right, and then it comes across into that ditch is all the new county water. Yeah, I mean, I always get it, but now there's more. Everybody's done some nice work up there. What happens when my property floods? And that's what nobody can tell me. Is that a village ditch? Is that a township ditch? Is it a county ditch? And I'm just letting it be known that it's gonna be an issue. Because I'm 18 inches below now in the back, because they keep running water through there, and as my dirt's disappearing. And now he's gonna put up, which he has to put up a paved parking lot,
Oh, yeah, that's
and he's gonna be, again, 18 inches higher in the back, but he's telling me, oh, it's gonna run here, and I can't count on the people that own the
I
property
don't
to
think
take
there would be
care of that.
any township ditches, I think there would be considered county ditches.
Probably Candace Miller's office.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would talk to Candace Miller's
And
office.
way
Not
back,
village at all.
okay, well, way back when I bought the place, a few years ago, Reverend Farber had dropped a well back there on that property. Now, that's what he told me, because he was trying to get me to donate my property so they could access the well. Now, there's a pipe back there about this big, it's white, and now it's painted with an X. Nobody seems to find any paperwork on it. Do you guys know, is that a village well?
No.
No, and
I
I
never-
never.
We've never had a water well over there.
Forever, and I don't remember
I'm
ever.
up-
Well, you can come and take a look, it's real,
Yeah.
you can see it. So I'm just asking, because now all that's gonna get covered up too. You know, so if it's an active well, what happens when you start pushing dirt around and rocks, and is that gonna bring the water level up even more? So that's all I'm trying to let you guys know, there is an issue right there. Candace Miller is my next step, but I wanted to bring it to you guys so you know that there's issues back there.
Have you talked to the township about it?
Yes, I've been to
It's just-
7 meetings.
Well, because we've got 3 township drains that the township works with the county on. That's it. So many of these other culverts and water runoff areas and so on are privately owned. So if it's
Well, why
on
would
his
you-
property and he's doing that, then they need to consider it in their planning and zoning.
Township, or
Well,
the county brought the water, what I'm talking about, from Ambets down, and then about halfway through the road there, it comes across, and now that water, it can't go uphill, so where's it gonna go? It's gonna
Yeah.
come my way.
If you know for a fact that they brought it in, because I've been down there and talked to those guys, but if they brought it in, and they should have a record of it, then I would think that they would be the first to do something.
Yeah, all I'm getting is nobody knows. And it's
Yeah.
not, you know how back in the day, Joe, you know, it was a handshake. You know, I'm sure glad I didn't give him the back half of my property so he could go to the well that doesn't exist, so.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just concerned that we've got an issue coming there just because of the water situation. Now, he says he's running a pipe, or there was an existing pipe, so I walk back there and I go, wow, this has been covered up, but I can see it now. But it's a 1-foot crack, and it's gonna go across the back of the car wash where it currently exists and go to a holding pond behind where, the house is that they bought.
The one they're tearing
They're
down.
tearing
Yeah.
down.
that's not the well for the,
Car wash.
for the
No,
car
because they're on
wash.
municipal water.
No.
I think they're on
That's
water.
been there.
About
No,
what year
they're-
it went in?
They have their own well,
Yeah,
and they're hooked up to our sewer.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I've been there since 93. So it came in between 93 and 95, and it was with Reverend
With
Farber,
Wiener.
when he was the head.
Yeah, but we don't have a well there, at least not that we're pumping water out of.
No.
There's nothing pumping out of it, but that's what I know, it's there. Is it a good well? Is it a dry well? Is it gonna be an issue down the road, you know, so.
So is it?
I can't
That might be for
Church
their,
put it in.
for the car wash. They have their own well.
Yeah, but he hasn't been there since 95,
No,
has he?
this has been before he,
No.
Yeah.
I think
No,
you-
the
Car wash.
car
Oh,
wash.
the car wash.
I
Yeah.
believe may wanna check with the county too, cause I don't think you can drill a well without a permit from the county.
Yeah, I would
That
say
may apply to
Eagle should have a
drinking,
record of
yeah, so you might wanna check.
From the church never had.
I don't know if that's just limited to drinking wells, but you can't just drill a well without a
I
permit.
can't imagine that.
It's gotta be permitted.
That's just before I did the books, started taking the books.
Well, it's in there, and I just don't want another issue to come up when you find out, oh yeah, this is an active well. Well, I've
Yeah.
never seen it active, but,
Roseanne, I'll work with you on the
Okay.
well, because Jeff is right. I mean, there should be a permit for it unless it was done illegally.
Yeah.
So we can find that out. easily.
Armada? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
We can answer the legality question.
Correct.
The rest, I don't know.
All right, thank you.
Rose, we don't do anything illegal. We go, so, I can't go with that statement, as much as I like you, Rose. Are there any other citizen comments?
Right here.
Shady.
Kevin Brand, Armada resident. So if you haven't guessed, I'm not really too happy with the actions or the non-actions of the village during the last snowstorm. I find it very disappointing that you have it where it's very difficult for residents to negotiate the sidewalks when you have people that are unwilling or just flat out lazy, that do not want to shovel their sidewalks. You basically write the ordinances, change the ordinance. Change it, you've got 24 hours to clear your sidewalks, 24 hours plus one. Go hire out a landscaping crew and turn them loose on the property and bill the property owner for the services. If they don't pay, tack it onto their water bill or their tax bills. Problem solved.
Please not on the water bill.
You good?
That's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Kevin. Any other citizen comments? Okay, moving on then, council comments. Okay, community events.
Oh, I already said it.
Yeah, I know. We have no closed session tonight, so I would entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:42.
Support.
Motion by Eric, and seconded by Adair. Not used to this.
I know. Got it
All in favor of the motion? Aye. Motion's approved.
Might want to try.
Meeting adjourned.